Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight the Warriors played in Sacramento, and with about 4 minutes left, as you can see, Steph Curry checking back into the game there. The Warriors were very much in need of, a spark at this point. The Kings had just made a pretty substantial comeback, and Steph Curry is going to come back into the game after some shenanigans. They've got a 1-point lead. Now, the Kings go zone here. They are a really interesting defensive team, but just a crazy hot team right now. We're going to talk about their defense in this game, and if you're enjoying content like this, please like, subscribe, comment. All of that would be so appreciated. Really appreciate you all. But this Kings defense, Steph Curry in this game scored 14 points. I think he shot 4 threes in the fourth quarter. He would not score in the rest of this game, at least until garbage time, when they brought Steph Curry in as their spark. The Kings have been running more zone under Doug Christie, and it makes sense given their personnel, right? Sabonis isn't a great paint protector. He's almost a little better on the perimeter sometimes, and they can just use their length and athleticism on the wing. Andrew Wiggins actually ends up getting a bucket there, but that would be the last basket the Warriors scored for a while. Kings run a tried and true Steph Curry defense, just like blitzing him with 2 defenders, hedge into a true blitz there, force the ball out of his hands. The Kings were doing this all game, but really locked in, and you can just see how quickly they're rotating. They're flying around the court. Great rotation by Monk there. Sabonis comes over to protect the rim against Moody. Part of this is the Warriors' injuries. Draymond Green obviously helps a ton in these spots, but they just aren't and Kuminga and Podziemski, they're not a very talented roster even when fully healthy. But just looking at this, right, forcing Steph to pass, and Wiggins, Wiggins isn't processing super quickly. Guy Santos doesn't want to shoot, but DeRozan's right in his face. This is really the rotation, though, that I have the most kind of affinity for, where Monk does a great job sitting down here on TJD in case there's a post entry, but he's able to slip back and recover out to Moody. Great closeout, and forces him into Sabonis right there. Kings go on to score on the other end. Their clutch offense is insane and probably deserving of its own video, but pretty much same start to this play, and you can see the Kings working in rotation, forcing Wiggins, Moody to be the handlers at the end of the game. And DeRozan's having a pretty solid defensive year, especially on the ball. He can really play, but of course, once again, this starts with a blitz on Steph. And yes, this is a classic strategy, especially against a depleted Warriors team, but the Kings have been doing this a lot recently, and they've been quite good at it. So they're practicing Sabonis moving out here. Again, you see there's 4-on-3, right? The Kings should be at a huge numbers disadvantage right here, but Wiggins, for some reason, doesn't see this pass inside to Trayce Jackson-Davis, but Sabonis is rotating down, even if that does happen. They force Moody in the corner, who doesn't want to attack Fox, because Fox is a pretty good defender himself, and Moody's just not like a 1v1 isolation player. And their willingness to kind of, switch and go over screens and stuff, just easy switch Monk and Guy as to not give up an advantage to Wiggins. Wiggins spins, twirls, twists, and this started from, the very beginning. And the Warriors had success in the first quarter and early second, especially offensively. They built like a almost 20-point lead at some point in the game, even inside the arc. This you can see how hard the Kings were denying Steph threes. De'Aaron Fox is top blocking Steph Curry, which means he's guarding him away. He's on his side closest to the 3-point line as to not let him run out. But he's at the free throw line, and Steph can easily slip behind, cut. Fox can't get up and block him here. And then, I don't know why the camera zoomed in on this, but they were trying the blitz earlier, but they just weren't as snappy rotating. Kevin Huerter is not a particularly good defender, and the Warriors were able to beat it with their quick passing and their motion. But the Kings adjusted, right? This possession in the third quarter from Keon Ellis, who didn't get to play in the fourth just because the Kings are fully healthy, but is a legitimately all-world defender. And I'm just going to let this possession roll and keep your eyes on Keon Ellis throughout this possession, guarding the best off-ball mover in the history of basketball. He is a ridiculous defender, and there aren't a lot of players in the league with the ability and the effort and the motor to chase Steph Curry around, force him into a turnover there. But again, we see it's obviously not just Keon Ellis. Keon's going to get the lion's share of the credit for a play like this, as he should, but good rotation here. And, maybe he could have lobbed it up to Quentin Post, but good rotation by DeRozan, bad pass by Steph. Keon cuts off this kind of, I'm sure they're trying to go into a little handoff action, as I am messing up my buttons right there. Sabonis doing a good job just in general shading and providing timely help. it's just a really impressive team defense effort. Their connectedness, they're flying around, they're talking, they're communicating, and it's just really cool to watch a unit firing on all cylinders like this. And credit to Keegan Murray, who was able to kind of blow this play up before it even really started. The Warriors force a late clock reset, and Wiggins again, isolation. This is an outcome that the Kings are thrilled by. Wiggins is a good player, but if Steph Curry is just standing off the ball doing nothing with the clock winding down, again with a pretty solid isolation defender in DeRozan, and that was a makeable shot right there. Wiggins did get a bit of a step, but DeRozan did a good job to recover, and Sabonis was there for the rebound. But of course, what forces that situation, right, is how the Kings play this whole possession. They don't want Steph Curry to get blitzed. So instead of just straight pick and roll, they're going to do something that a lot of teams do, which is a little pitch back and handoff, right? They pitch to Guy Santos, so it's harder to send a double at a DHO. But Keegan Murray just sticks through two screens and waits till Sabonis can actually get there to double. So without Keegan Murray there, they may have given up a wide open three to Steph Curry on that possession. And Keegan tracks Steph for the rest of the possession. He doesn't even try to get a shot late in the clock. Like, he's definitely gassed, and the Kings have been boxing him. Next possession here, Kings up 2 now. Their offense has been great. Keegan taking Steph full court, and he just jacks a 40-footer. And Bob Myers on the broadcast was saying something like, that's a good shot. I don't blame him. He can't get anything on the Kings, and he really couldn't. I understand Steph just trying to shoot him out of the slump, but I think this is just a perfect example of the kind of mental stress this Kings defense put on Steph. It's like, I'm not even going to try to attack this defense. I'm just going to pull up from 35 because I'm Steph Curry, where that's just kind of a testament to how great the defense is. Kings end up scoring in transition, and on effectively the possession that was really icing this game, we again see it start with a trap, and Quentin Post gets the ball. Again, no disrespect to Quentin Post, but this is a win for the Kings. We see an instant trap here. Especially, it's easy for the Warriors to trap when you have these guard screens, right? So you don't have to worry about Sabonis in space, even though he's fine in space. And Wiggins just isn't the best short roll guy in the world. This is a fine decision, but would have been good to try to hit this corner. Actually, no. Keegan was kind of rotating really hard. This is awesome defense by Keegan. Immediately after the pass, he doesn't even go to cheat down on Wiggins. He knows his responsibility is the corner, and that's just a really impressive rotation. And Warriors kind of effectively lose the game, but they're down 6 here after a timeout or something. They have one more possession, maybe just one last gasp for them to come back in this game. If they're gonna if they're gonna come back, they're gonna have to score here. And let me just tell you, I'm not sure that's gonna happen on a possession like this, and we're gonna slow it down. But man, this foul got overturned, by the way. Moody did kick his leg out according to the replay. I think the Kings challenged and ended up getting it. But just starting this possession again with Keegan Murray setting the tone on Steph Curry, forcing him, using his hands to kind of deny. Curry trying to just clear out for an ISO, but Keegan is all over this step back. Beautiful defense right there. Fox does a great job walling up and mirroring to cut this Wiggins drive off. He's strong enough, and look at Sabonis defending off the ball. He can double off of Moody because this spacing isn't good right here, and Keegan can just stunt over to Moody until Demonis can recover. DeRozan jumps out. That's just beautiful team defense for the entire possession. And the Kings actually did not score on the next possession down. What a miracle. So I guess this is your last gasp if you're the Warriors right here. And Steph, I think this is the only bucket he had after switching back in, and the Kings would score on the next possession, but this was far too little too late at this point. They're just trying to not foul Steph or give him a 3 probably. But the Kings really dismantled this Warriors offense. Obviously, a not high-powered, full-strength Warriors offense, but one with Steph Curry nonetheless, even in, just like an all-star rather than a lock all-NBA top 5 guy anymore. But this is what the Kings have been doing to teams. They did this late in the game to the Rockets. They did this to the Celtics. They did this to the Grizzlies. They have been doing this to good teams with their suffocating aggression, mixing up coverages, and just relying on their ability to communicate and rotate. And it's just really fun to watch them fly out there, because even though the Warriors don't have good offensive players out there and we're struggling, I think the Kings did the Kings didn't make it easy on them. It wasn't like the Warriors were just missing wide open shots. The Kings did a really good job to force difficult chances away from Steph, and I give him a lot of credit for that. But Let me know what you think of this video and this kind of style of video. I love watching this Kings team right now. Let me know what you think of them, and have a great day or night.